Monkey.
Hello everyone, and thanks again for joining me. This is CodeName Monkey bringing more Path of Exile content for you. Today's video is going to be different. Today's video is actually going to be about Legion and what I do for Legion and what's good with Legion, at least in my opinion. Obviously, that's open to interpretation, but I'm just going to kind of get into what I do, and keep in mind that I'm not going to be the fastest player to clear maps. I'm not going to be looking for the in-game gear. You know, I am a bit slower, and I do tend to look at more things just because I'm still learning about everything. However, I just wanted to kind of pass along some tips to maybe some new players that might be discouraged about the difficulty or the in-depth processing of Path of Exile itself. I just kind of want to break something down in according to what I like to call bite-sized pieces or little nuggets of gold on ways to enjoy the game a little bit more. Now, before I did Legion, I was actually doing Expedition. I love Expedition. I just decided to change over to Legion to kind of do something different. I will kind of show you what I'm doing, and currently I don't have all 4 Voidstones. I just have 3. I still need to get this last one, but I did want to show you kind of the importance of Sextants and the importance of the Keystones. So the ones I have running right now, they all give 6 additional packs of monsters, which is huge. That gives more quality and quantity on your maps. There's 6 there, 6 there, 6 there. I also want to let you know the reason it says 4 uses on each Sextant. If you go into the Atlas skill tree here, this node up here, this is a must. This allows your Sextants to apply 1 additional use to your Voidstone. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot if it's 1 extra each time, but it definitely does add up. So I would say that this is a must when you're doing maps. The 2 best maps for me and my build is Strand and Cemetery. Now the goal is to get tier 14 plus. Activating that, you can use the Searing Exarch. I don't do much either of worlds. I find that I have more success with the Searing Exarch. And one other tip that I would explain, I wish I knew this whenever I first started. You want to make sure your map starts out white. That way when you use the chisel, it gives 5% each time. Now the same could be said about flasks too, or even weapons and armor. So anytime you're going to use the white stone, the armor scrap, the glass blower's bauble, all these things, it's going to increase it by 5% each time. Another reason I'm pointing that out is because when you decide to go in and do metamorph, you're going to get these catalysts. Now these catalysts are huge. These give additional bonuses to your jewelry. And so, and that even includes the belt. You can see here, my belt has 20% quality resistance modifiers, which gives the 50%, 40%, etc. So, to kind of go back into the mapping and Legion, what I also have going for me that you'll see in my map device is I have these polished Legion Scarabs and rusted sulfite Scarabs. Now you might be asking, why would I need rusted sulfite Scarabs? The reason I have those is because packed with energy. So you gain 1% to max resistances every time you activate a Voltaic sulfite vein, and you also get increased damage and move speed. And this stacks 3 to 4 times in each map. Now, since I'm a projectile build with Vengeance Cascade, obviously you're going to see that in a lot of bow builds now. It's kind of the meta. Those extra bonuses are actually huge, especially since with Vengeance Cascade, those projectiles are coming back. With that extra damage and extra move speed, it just helps you clear maps so much easier. Keep in mind, when you use your Orb of Alchemy on your maps, you want to keep item quantity anywhere from 80 to 100. And then monster pack size has to be 20 plus to get the full value out of it. Obviously, you can roll with chaos, which I'll demonstrate here. So now it's at 94, and I'm just going to check this because I want to make sure nothing in here can kill me. So the things that are bad for my build specifically is elemental reflection, physical damage reflection, cannot regenerate health, mana, etc., and even reduce regeneration. The other big killer for a lot of builds is lowering player resistances, because even if they lower resistances by 10% each, that's still more damage that they're going to be doing to you. So you have to be really careful about that. Normally, I put these 2 sacrifices in my maps, and that just adds 5% additional quantity and quality. I have in these Mortal Hopes just because I had a few extras, so I believe this is 10% per. And since I have this Legion Scarab, I have a chance in my maps to get at least 2 Legions. Now, it doesn't always work that way, but typically it does. And then there's also Sextants that add an additional Legion encounter. And so there are some times when maps will drop 3 Legions. Just go into the map here quickly and just show you. It'll probably also give me a short deli. Okay, so it actually didn't. So I'm just going to go through the map here. The reason why I recommend Strand and Cemetery is because they're pretty straightforward. You obviously don't want to be doing backtracking in your maps. And you got to be careful with that too because of the fire. There's also different things that can kill you, you know, bleed and poison, that sort of thing. So you just have to be really careful. I actually missed this. My fault. So that's the first one. So now you'll see I'm faster. I'm going to be dealing more damage. And my maximum resistance is, like, cap has been increased by 1%. Okay, so here's another one. Got to be careful of the fire. And you will get used to reading those things on whether you want it to be boss or minion, etc. For me, I typically like minion because a lot of the boss modifiers I've gotten in the past, they're not that great. And so you'll see right here, this is the Eldritch minions. So we'll do another one. And every time you do that, you have to be careful as well because they get buffs. Or they may provide debuffs to you when you're standing next to them. So, like I said, it's just a matter of, like, trial and error and playing enough times to know what they're going to be doing. This map is actually being super generous because it doesn't usually spawn this many. So there's 2 legions right here. I'm not actually sure if it will provide a 3rd one. I think that's only if I have the Sextant. But I will just show you. I'm trying to clear the map first. I typically like clearing the map and then going back. That might be counterproductive, but that's just how I've done it. I have to keep moving because of the fire. And as you can see, I mean, this map's kind of a juicer. It doesn't normally drop this many. Okay. And we have a box as well. So you got to be careful too when opening ones that are unfamiliar or unidentified. They can stun you or freeze you. So you always want to have a flask ready for that in case that happens, because a freeze or a stun in this game could be 5 seconds, 10 seconds, etc. And that's really not something that you want to deal with. So now, since this one is showing the player gains debuffs or I get boss additionals, I'm going to go for the boss. Just because I prefer minions and then boss typically. And that's really what you're looking for. And so now I'm just going to go in the boss room since I've cleared the map, more or less. You got to be careful. Use my Val Ice Arrow. There we go. And now, like I said, this is kind of counterproductive, but I'm going to work my way back. And I will speed through picking up the loot just so you guys can see the Legion encounters themselves. And so I'll just show my inventory just real quick here. It looks like I got a bunch of divination cards so far. I mean, I've gotten 20 chaos. I've gotten greater eldritch embers. I've gotten lesser. I mean, like I said, all the divination cards. So this isn't even with my Legion encounters yet. If you add these things into your map, even if you're doing a tier 4 cemetery, you're able to get so much loot out of it. So we'll activate the first one. And this works with more than just projectile builds. It just so happens that this is the one that I'm playing right now. My first character was a righteous fire juggernaut. Or no, I'm sorry, not juggernaut. Righteous fire inquisitor. That's the word I was looking for. And even him, like, he's able to do the same thing. It's not going to be this quick because projectile builds are just broken right now. However, it still does the same thing. And some good advice that I remember hearing, and I can't remember the person's name, but they basically said a lot of people make the mistake of trying to create like a well-rounded build for their character, or a character that can do like a little bit of everything. And for a league start, sure, that's fine. But also you should be looking towards making a character that specializes in specific things. So for example, you know, if you get a character that excels at Legion, that would be like what I'm talking about. Or if you get someone that's good at doing the Grove or Expedition or what's the other one? Short Deli, Long Deli, Heist. I don't like Heist. I think Heist is a bit slow, but I know there's a lot of people that enjoy it. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for the mobs. So, and look, this is something that I've actually been needing is a mob that drops maps. And because I was out of cemetery maps, I was actually out of Strand maps as well. Why can't I open this? I was actually out of Strand maps as well, but I bought one just for the example. Another good reason to do Legion is because it does drop a lot of incubators. And so if you just always put the incubators for stacked decks and like incubators for currency, you're also going to rack up passive income from that as well. And like I said, a lot of in-game players are not going to waste their time just like standing around and picking all this stuff up. Nice, a Viridian Jewel. It's just more so to showcase all the different things that you get. And see, I'm already full again, so I need to go back. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is from one map. Another thing that you get a lot of is fragments. So these things, the Templar splinters. I don't know why I call them fragments. But then you'll see those build up these timeless Marketh emblem, Templar emblem, etc. So some of these are going for 16 chaos each, right? And so if you're not using them, then that's another way that you can make profit. So just keep that in mind as well. Right now, I'm just enjoying Legion a lot because my build excels in quick clearing maps. And then, yeah, I mean, if you're hurting for currency too, I mean, there's going to be a lot of these to drop, like the 6 socket for 7 jewelers. And there's even a chance that you get 6 links sometimes. I typically try to avoid these that are in cyan, I guess that color would be, just because a lot of the times I've picked those things up and I just haven't gotten anything from them. So it's just in my opinion, it's kind of a waste of my time to like sit there and pick them up and roll them and check them. I mean, there have been the occasional time where I got something and it was worth it. So yeah, for now, I think that's going to cover it. You know, if you have any questions or if you have a better way of doing this, I mean, by all means, let me know in the comments, because I honestly love this game. I love sharing different tips and, you know, just talking to other people that enjoy this game as much as I do. So feel free to leave your feedback and comments. You know, if there's an easier way or a better way, I'm all ears. Like, I'm definitely willing to listen to different people's perspectives and listen to the way that they do things. This is just kind of my personal way of running maps. And like I said, I typically try and stick to Strand and Cemetery. Obviously, when I run out of those maps, I either buy more or just run different maps, because generally speaking, you do get a lot of map drops as well. I hope this helped. If you have any questions, you can always leave comments or reach out to me. And I do plan on making more guide videos and just, you know, my opinions on the different types of content in Path of Exile. So stay tuned for more. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you have a good evening. Bye-bye.